Hi there, my darling Taurus. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to your reading for the week of October the 6th, 2025. So, my darling Taurus, we're just going to jump right in and start off with an overarching energy using the Moonology manifestation oracle cards, and then we're going to move on to my 3-card spread using my Michelle Knight tarot cards, and then finishing off with angel answer cards. All right, my darling Taurus, what messages does Taurus need to know for this week of October the 6th, 2025? Been a lot of fire energy around these readings that I've done so far, but a lot of action, taking action, moving forward type of energy, which I love. All right, let's see what we've got for you. First quarter moon in Leo. Be humble. Be humble, my darling Taurus. And look, most Tauruses, Tauri, no, Taurus, most Tauruses that I know are humble. They're successful and they're confident, and so they should be, but they're humble about their achievements. They don't usually go and, shout it from the rooftops. They're, I think, quietly confident is the word. Well, the Tauruses that I know are like that, quietly confident. Just they know that they're successful. They know that they're very gorgeous and attractive, and they just take it. So if there's that feeling for you, my darling Taurus, this week, to be humble, to if there is if you get a feeling that you want to, I don't know, shout from the rooftops that you've achieved this and this and this, maybe just choose your audience, is what I feel here for you. You are being encouraged to be humble this week, my darling Taurus. All right, let us consult the tarot and see what messages we've got coming in for you for this week, my darling Taurus. What does Taurus need to know for the week of October the 6th? Been a lot of synchronicities with the cards too, being in number sequence and the same suit and everything. So yeah. Ooh, 10 of Swords. Okay. 9 of Swords. See, what did I just say? You cannot make this up. They've been sequenced in numbers, and these are all shuffled. You saw me shuffle them. And the 7 of Pentacles. Wow. See, spooky. You cannot make this shit up. All right, my darling Taurus, what I'm going to do is give you the meaning of each of the cards, and then I'm going to intuitively put the reading together here for you. So you start off here with the 10 of Swords, and look, this ain't a great energy. There's no doubt about that. But the fact is that this energy is something is dead done over with, my darling. The 10 of Swords is all about endings. So something is dead done over with. You can see, she's getting stabbed in the back and she's not happy about it. In the traditional tarot, the person lying on the ground with the swords in their back is the Hierophant. You can that was traditionally the Archbishop of Canterbury, who was laying flat and was killed in those times when the tarot was done. You can see that it's him. He's got his undergarments on underneath his robe type of thing. So it was like supposed to depict that the murder of the Archbishop of Canterbury, being stabbed in the back. But there was also the new dawn, like the day, dawning of a new day type of message. So 10s in the tarot are completions. Something is dead done over with here, my darling Taurus. You may have felt that you were stabbed in the back for something. It's going to be different for everybody. And, with that Be Humble card, I feel that you're being encouraged to be humble, or this may happen. I'm not feeling, I'm sort of getting conflicting type of message for you, that I don't believe this has happened. I believe that this could happen, that you may feel stabbed in the back by something. But anyway, we're going to need to get some more info here for sure. But I feel that this is, whatever this is, it needed to happen, my darling Taurus, if that makes sense. So, it's going to be different for everybody, but whether this has already happened or it's going to happen, I feel that you could, if this hasn't happened and it's going to happen, you can avoid this, is what I feel, my darling Taurus. And you've also got here the Nine of Swords as well. So, as I said, the Nine of Swords, the 9 and 10 of Swords. The Nine of Swords is like anxiety and worry and, just that never-ending nightmare. I mean, you can definitely see that this energy here for her is that she's got the swords above her head and she's worried. It's not like the other one where her hand is on her head, but her head is on her hand. So it is that energy of feeling just exhausted, I feel, is the word that popped into my head off this Nine of Swords, my darling Taurus. So I feel that you're exhausted with having to worry all the time, having to be careful what you say, having to mind your P's and Q's, as they say. That's just the energy that's kind of the message that I'm receiving off this, is that you feel that you've had to tiptoe around a situation and you're over it. You're just sick of it, my darling Taurus. But I feel that you can move out of this energy. I think it's definitely going to be up to you to recognize this energy and, get out of this never-ending nightmare, my darling Taurus. Only you have the control to let this go, my darling Taurus, is what I feel, that's coming in for you. So, and then you've got the Seven of Pentacles. So, I like to see this Seven of Pentacles because, this is that contemplation type of energy here. This is you looking at what you've done and thinking, is it worth it? Is what you have done worth what you've done? You've grown this beautiful bush of pentacles here, my darling Taurus. I feel it's time for you to take this pentacle and plant it somewhere else. You can do it. You can do it. And I feel that this is what you're being encouraged to be humble about, is you've done all this. Be humble about this and repeat the process. Let others know that this wasn't a coincidence, that it wasn't a fluke, that you were able to have this success, my darling Taurus. That's kind of what I feel is around you too, is jealousy, and that, people are hating on you, my darling Taurus, because you've been successful and you are successful. But I feel with what's come up with that Be Humble card, that if you have been telling people how good you are, my darling Taurus, it's probably time to rein that back, because it's causing jealousy. And I know you can be, I don't give a shit what anybody else thinks, and I agree with that. But there's a time and a place, my darling Taurus. And I feel that if it's causing you anxiety because of what's happening, then it's within your best interests to just be humble, my darling Taurus. But I do feel you are being encouraged to take this pentacle, plant it somewhere else, and, show what you can do. Be that energy, my darling Taurus. So if I'm going to put it all together, and this is a bit of a tricky one because I was getting, multiple messages here. And the multiple messages were, has this happened or will this happen? Can you avoid this, my darling Taurus? And I think the answer here is yes. I feel that this is the energy you're in at the moment, is, feeling just exhausted, exasperated, because, you're happy and successful and you're wanting to show, wanting to let everyone know how good you are, I guess. But it's not always well received, my darling Taurus. I just feel that you're being encouraged here to get out of this never-ending nightmare, let it go, to avoid this situation. You do you, boo, is what I kind of feel. Be humble. I think you'll need to be humble to avoid this situation. If this has already happened and it's causing this now, then yeah, you have the power to release it, my darling Taurus. That's just what I feel. We'll probably need to get some final messages here to, really be clear, but I do feel you're being encouraged here to see what you've done, see how well you've done it, and do something else, put it into something else. And this will disintegrate once you've done this, my darling Taurus. That's kind of what I'm getting for you on this. So, yeah. I know it doesn't seem like a very nice reading, but I feel there's a way out for you. So if you are enjoying the reading so far, please do give it a thumbs up for me. Drop me a comment. I want to know, how does this resonate with you? Have you been feeling stabbed in the back? What has been happening? Do you want to talk about it? I am very active and interactive in the comments. I would be happy to start a dialogue with you if you want to tell me what's happening. All right, let's get final messages. Let's hope to get a bit more clarity as well. Yeah, ask for help from others. I feel you don't have to go through this alone. Ask me. I'm very happy to have a chat. Yeah, you can't make this up. Ask your angels. You're being encouraged, I feel, my darling Taurus, to share this problem. What do they say? A problem shared is a problem halved, my darling Taurus. So you are being encouraged to talk about it. Yeah. And it's up to you, my darling Taurus. Like I said, off that Nine of Swords, it is up to you to get out of that never-ending nightmare. I said that, and then it's come up again here. So, you are definitely being encouraged to move through that energy, because it's not serving you staying stuck down here, for sure, my darling Taurus. Within the next few weeks, they say, there's something better. Yeah, this card's come up a lot. There's something better. So I feel that this coming out of that eclipse energy that we've had, that's kind of what I feel is this is all left over from that eclipse type of energy. A lot of stuff was brought up for you, I feel, my darling Taurus. And this now is your chance to clear the energy out. And there is definitely something better coming in for you. I feel that. But you are being encouraged to be humble, my darling Taurus. Thank you so much for watching. I love you, and I'll be back again soon.